Hello everyone, this is Terry Stephenson here again. YouTube channel, telling prison stories. Thought about a lot of things in Sharky's kitchen at the Hughes unit. I went to work there in 1990. Sharky was the captain who ran the kitchen. He was very, very rough on everyone. He wanted everything spotless. He wanted everything done right. He favored inmates pretty much over everybody, including me as a security officer in there. We had white shirt supervisors, and Sharky was head of the kitchen. Thought it'd be a great TV series. I thought about it, and I've written some stories, episode type stories and all that, those sight gags and all the crazy things that happened in there with the inmates. The kitchen was made of 4 different chow halls, 3, 4 on one end and 7 and 8 on the other, with the ODR officer's dining room in the middle. We had approximately 80 inmates in there on second shift, and probably 4 gray shirt security officers and maybe 1 white shirt or 2 white shirt that were the food service managers. So we had a lot to try to supervise, especially when some of the officers didn't really supervise anything. They just hung around with inmates or sat in the chow hall and visited with them, like the old man I was talking about earlier. So it was pretty rough. You had another assignment, regardless of which chow hall you had. You might have the bakery to watch, the back dock, which was the break to get outside and go out and block the world outside. And the inmates loved to go out there too, including a lot of them that didn't belong out there. You'd have to tell them to go back in, or just lock the door so they couldn't come out. 7 chow halls, the kitchen workers, you fed them and you'd check roll and all that. And then 8 was also down there for the vegetable area. So you had about 6 or 7 inmates in there peeling potatoes, whatever it may be, processing whatever foods that were brought in from the farms, possibly watermelons even. But the craziest story of all was about the time they brought the greens in to the kitchen, probably from the hobby unit in Marlin, but I don't really know. But there was bags and bags and bags, toe sacks, burlap bags full of greens, collard greens or turnip greens. I can't even tell you because I didn't eat greens back then and didn't even know the difference. But they had bags and bags of them stacked up that were brought in on dollies and leaving a trail of dirt everywhere they went. The sand was falling out of the bags, so some inmate had to clean that mess up to keep Sharky from going off on that. So they bring all these vegetables down there, all these greens down to the vegetable area. Well, there was not enough inmates in the vegetable area assigned there to even start fixing all those greens. All you really had to do was just take a leaf and do this number here and break the hard part off and throw it in the garbage. But the inmates hated it, and there was so much of it to do that they were doing anything they could to get out of work. So you had to go get your utility workers, put them down there. And in the inmates' job descriptions, it also said that they also had to work in other areas as assigned or as needed. So that some would argue about it. I work in the scullery, I work in the so-and-so, I don't have to do that with that attitude. But finally you get all of them down there working, processing those greens. Well, they weren't really processing. They were actually finding ways to get rid of the greens and take them out the back door, sacks of them, put them in garbage cans, whatever they could do to throw them away so they didn't have to mess with them, with a whole bag at a time or bags at a time. They'd take a garbage can and dump so many of the good greens in the bag or in the garbage can, then cover it up with their trash, and then somebody would take it out the back door in garbage cans. So the whole bunch of greens went out that way. Others were taking them to the pot room where they wash dishes, have a big, huge garbage disposal there. So some were taking them over to the pot room and they were going down the garbage disposal. Well, that was the problem. It won't do anything with the raw greens. All they'll do is pack in there. They won't go through the disposal. It doesn't matter how much water you put in there. If they're raw, they won't go through the disposal. So bags and bags and bags of those greens were going to the garbage disposal. They got through with the greens that day. There were so many that were taken out the back door. There was probably only 2 inserts, 2 pans when they were cooked that even went on the line. I think Sharky had probably already gone home, which was probably a good thing because he didn't know about it until the next day, as they would have been on the menu for the next day. So he would have had to substitute something because there wasn't enough greens to feed. So no telling what he said to first shift officers and managers when he came in. He probably went off on all of them because there was nothing to feed. But anyway, it took about a day or so till all those greens started backing up from the garbage disposal. The inmates couldn't even flush their toilets without this green mess coming up in the drain. The back dock was floating with green crap coming up and the drain out back. It was a big old pool out there where it backed up and was flooding, along with all the buildings were, I don't know about the administration building, but all the housing areas were also getting flooded. When inmates would flush their toilets, that green crap would come right up in their drain. So when one would start to flush, another inmate would scream at him, "Don't flush it!" or whatever, just going off on that crap. So anyway, the only solution they had, this unit was new. The Hughes unit was opened up in January of 1990, something like that. And this was probably less than a year, or maybe just over a year when it first opened. They had to have a crew come in there from the outside with a jackhammer right beside the office, wherever that was connected. They went right through the floor with a jackhammer, taking the floor out in pieces to get to the connection down there, whatever it was, to get to that drain. Had to take all that apart and redo it. I'm going to add a little bit to the story about the vegetable area. I was talking about something funny about the inmates. Like 6 or 7 inmates working back there. We had an inmate that worked at a diet cart in the same area. He had diet food on there, fixed special trays for inmates. For whatever reason, him and another inmate got all pissed off at each other and wanted to fight. And the diet cook, his name was Price, he came out from behind that diet cart. He said, "I'll kill that so-and-so." And the other inmate was real small. Price was very big, probably 6'2" or 3", and the other inmate's about 5'6" or 7". So he goes after him, and the floor's wet over there, the vegetable area, and I'm the officer, the only one over there, and I'm trying to stop this fight. The floor is wet. Billy Johnson, the inmate or whatever, he had a mop, and he was using it like this, like a weapon, which I wasn't thinking about it. I think he was really protecting himself, because he sure wasn't trying to hit the other inmate with it. But I'm over there sliding everywhere on that damn wet floor. So the inmates are over there while this fight's going on, and while I'm trying to break it up or keep it from going on, they're over there mocking me. One in particular, I don't remember his name, but he's funny as hell, because he's over there dancing like James Brown, mocking me, of course. And this went on the rest of the damn day. After the fight's done, the cases are written, the inmates or whatever locked up. Price got out because he was the captain's favorite, but whatever happened. The next day, Price was back, and the rest of the day, the inmates, especially the one where they're mocking me and sliding on that damn wet floor, acting like James Brown, doing the dancing and all that. So that just gives you an idea of the humor of inmates. And of course, I wasn't mad about it. I was laughing at it too. So that's the story of the Greens and what happened, the Hughes unit back about 1990. Thank y'all for tuning in. Have any ideas for stories or about inmates, whatever it may be, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, inmates or officers, either one. Again, thanks everyone for watching the videos, and tell your friends about it. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, and there'll be more videos coming in the future. Y'all take care.